Hi, it's Maggie Lockwood, and welcome to Pharmacy Technology and Management Review's Direct Access video series. Today, we're going to continue our preview of the FrameworkLTC 2024 Customer Conference with a conversation with Dustin Harbison, the Director of Account Management. He is going to give us an overview of the theme, Accelerating Innovation, and how the conference will have sessions that appeal to customers, technologists, and executives. And I think what's a really interesting takeaway from this conversation with Dustin is over his years of working with SoftWriters, he has made so many connections for customers with each other, with vendors, and with SoftWriters staff that has really improved their operations. I think you're going to enjoy the conversation.
And thank you for being here to talk about the upcoming Framework Conference. But really what I wanted to start with was, how long have you been at SoftWriters? In your role as Director of Account Management, what do you think are the value for this conference for the customers?
My preliminary focus at the beginning of the year is with myself and the others on our planning committee is to look back at our previous years, look through our feedback, look through our content to make sure that it aligns with what's happening in the industry. And there are a lot of things that we take into account. It is, how do we best educate our customers with current industry trends, whether that be legislative or otherwise? Are we providing the great products for our customers and getting the products out in the right way? So that planning phase takes months and months and months. We're putting together what our themes are. We're putting together who our speakers are going to be, whether that be a keynote speaker or our internal speaker or customer or partner speakers. That goes on for a number of months. And when we solidify that entire framework, then we really start to refine things. And when we arrive on site, my whole goal, once I arrive at the conference, is to engage with every single customer that's there, engage with every vendor partner that we have. The vendor partners are so critical to the success of our conference, and we want to make sure that they're also benefiting from being there as well. And the engagement that we're able to provide, whether that's between the customers and SoftWriter or between customers themselves, is so essential. And what's so funny that comes out of conferences every year, we'll talk to people and they say, I got a chance to speak with so-and-so in my state or so-and-so across the country, and we have the same challenge. And we're struggling with the same thing in our area or with this payer or whomever that may be. And a lot of times they're able to just, kind of problem solve and say, well, I did this and it might work for you. Well, I did this and it might work for you. And it's just awesome to see just this synergy happening between customers that otherwise would not see each other.
I think that's a good segue. You mentioned engagement education, and I wanted to ask about the speakers for this year's conference and the ones you're particularly excited about or want to highlight.
Our two keynote speakers are phenomenal. One is a very well-known and renowned journalist that's coming in to speak, and another one of our keynote speakers is a former head of an NSA department talking through cybersecurity. So those two keynote speakers are really going to be something else. I can't wait for that. Mm-hmm. Our lineup for the rest of the conference is a combination of our vendor partners and some people at our customer sites. Leaders of these pharmacies that are really part of other organizations such as SCPC or ASAP or whatever those other organizations are that they may belong to. They've got this insight into what's happening legislatively or with the higher up of the vendor partners, and they're able to bring that insight and knowledge into these sessions that they're leading. And it's always wonderful to have your colleagues speak at these conferences. They, like, as you mentioned, they're sharing some of the same struggles, and it's just this camaraderie that they feel that I'm not alone. And the content that our keynote speakers provides is just so perfect. It's in line with what's happening in the industry. It's in line with what products or our suite of products is out there right now. It's in line with that, and very excited for that. Mm-hmm. We have always wanted our customers' presence on stage. That is, it's one thing for anyone at SoftWriters to get up there and speak to the audience, but when the customers are up there, I just think that's so much more powerful than just soft writers, individuals alone.
Right.
And all of our general sessions will all have customer speakers with
Oh,
alongside us at SoftWriter. So there are no sessions that don't have customers, and
that's
we think
great.
that's so valuable.
I think that's very interesting because I know a philosophy for the company is as a partner with your customers. So to actually have that illustrated on stage,
Yeah,
is really just reflects the mission of the company. I think that's great.
we consider all of our customers to be partners, and they are. I mean, they make us successful, and we in turn make them successful. And it's just a partnership that we very, very much treasure and appreciate.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about the vendor partners as well, the they attend?
The exhibit hall is such a phenomenal space. There's always a buzz in the hall. All of the vendors are in there. All of the customers are in there. They're all interacting. And for the vendors, obviously, that's a space for them to be able to get their products out in front of customers. But when the customers are in the room, they get to see that vendor solution or product in real time. It's one thing to go to a website for a vendor or a partner and look at their stuff on their pages or watch a video, but when you get to meet and speak with those people and then see their technology happening in front of you, it really just opens your eyes to all of the solutions that are out there. And it can solidify if you wanted to move toward that vendor. You were thinking heavily about doing that, and then you've moved to the next step of actually seeing it, and now you want to partner with this vendor. And I just think it's so valuable. And our partners always have our customers' interests at heart as well, as we do. And we have to be all in alignment to provide our customers the best solutions that we can.
Right, right.
For instance, exhibit hall at our booth, the SoftWriters booth, we have our entire product team there. They are able to talk with the customers about what you just mentioned, Maggie, which is the current functionality that's basically new, that's just come out. Roadmap items. They have an opportunity to really get with the product owners over those different products and talk through what the customer can expect over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. And along with that, we have demos with our commercial team. They're allowed to able to show that stuff real time. And then in addition to the exhibit hall, we obviously have all of our training labs, and we're able to deep dive into topics with customers one-on-one, with our subject matter experts, with our consultants. And that just, I know it solves so many problems when they're in the training lab. And I think that's such a valuable space that we're able to provide to the customer.
And yes, solving problems, which is the real reason you come to this conference, right? Because running a pharmacy and a long-term care pharmacy, problems are and I know that's not necessarily a positive thing to say, but problems are part of everyday business, right? So the more tools you have and the more expertise you can develop by going to a conference, you are going to solve those problems more quickly. And
one thing that we focused on this year around the theme, which we do every year, but the focus that we put on the theme this year was slightly different. And our conference has always been termed as the FrameworkLTC Users Conference. And we want to make sure that our conference is inclusive to everyone, which it is, but we changed our theme slightly this year for users, technologists, and executives. We want sessions. We want discussions happening at all levels of pharmacy operations. I think it's important that it's not just sessions on functionality for users to come and learn. That is absolutely phenomenal, and we need that. And we also need to be able to get the cybersecurity and the technology sessions in there for the technologist, and then the legislative sessions that are more overarching for the executives. So we've really concentrated on tailoring this year's conference to get all of those people in the seats. The theme for this year's SoftWriters Conference is accelerating innovation. It's all around product and functionality and a little bit of artificial intelligence and AI sprinkled in that, because that's where everything is moving. So accelerating innovation in a lot of different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean just AI, because AI is wonderful, but it has to be done responsibly, and we need to have a lot of governance over that. I know that's what everybody wants, just AI. We understand that, and we want to move into a segment of that, but we want to do it responsibly. This is healthcare. People's lives are at stake.
Right.
If we do this the wrong way, if anybody does this the wrong way. So accelerating innovation means a lot of different things, but that's what we're planning for everyone. So yes, I mean, and if we're talking about technology, it's going to affect the users positively. They need to understand what that technology is inside of the functions that they use. The technologists obviously need to be able to implement it and know what they're implementing, and the executives need to understand what we're putting out, how that's going to benefit them in a technology space. If we're going to make things more efficient, they need to understand what that means and how that impacts them.
Right. Well, I think we covered everything. I did want to hear, and you kind of answered this at the beginning, but I wanted to hear any sort of good stories that when you think about a previous conference and like you said, you engage with every customer. Someone who went back from the conference and then reached out after and said, this really changed the way we're operating in the pharmacy, or I was dubious, but now I'm really excited. I'm sure you hear all kinds of things, but I'm also sure there's some very good outcomes from the conference for these customers.
It seems that every year we hear back after the conference of, the finality of us hooking two customers up at the conference to talk through things. We've had instances where customers are brand new to the SoftWriters family. They have just onboarded with our product suite, and they've come to the conference, and they're very green, and they don't know everything about our products yet. They don't understand fully how it can be customized and how flexible it is. And I'm able to take that person and put them with a veteran user, for lack of a better phrase, and they're able to kind of walk them through. And then I always follow up with those people after, and they say, you know what, I had a 3-hour conversation with that person you put me in touch with, and I have been able to save 4 hours a day on X topic. Those are so wonderful. There are customers that they sit and refresh our page like every day for months and months leading up to the conference, waiting for that registration link to be available, right? They're so excited to come in, wonderful partners, and they're willing to talk with anyone. Just recently, we were at a conference. It wasn't our conference, but it was a different conference where we had a lot of the same mutual customers there. And there's a lot of at-home or home health that's happening in the industry right now. And we've got a number of pharmacies that do that. And I was able to put two pharmacies together at this conference outside of the SoftWriters conference, which just really kind of, in my mind, solidifies the dedication our customers and our partners have to the industry. They're going to different conferences. They're trying to get as much information as they can. And I was able to follow up that customer later, and they said, yeah, like this person said they do it this way, and we started doing it, and it's so much better for us. We had a customer that does things differently than a lot of our customers do in the assisted living space. And I was able to put him in touch with another customer that does all assisted living. And I was able to really turn that customer around to be an advocate for us. At first, they were not an advocate. And I really worked with this customer to understand where they were struggling and how we could help them. And I was able to bring another customer into the conversation, and they spent a few days talking on calls, and the customer that I had put them with was just so kind and so benevolent, and really was great with spending the time with this newer customer. And that newer customer is now not only operating extremely efficiently, they've now become an advocate for us. And my goal is to have every customer of ours be an advocate. That is the goal. And I was successful in that. And I just love stories like that, where it's not me that did it. I didn't turn the corner. I just facilitated it. And one of our other customers in our family just really was able to help this customer. And it's just a great testament.
I think it's important that you are so willing to listen to both the good and the the positives and the negatives. If there, and you're like, look, if there's a negative, let's figure out how to fix it, right? I mean, I think that's a really important part of that partnership that you have with your customers. Makes a big difference. Thank you for being here today and telling us about the conference.
Maggie, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciated spending time with you. It was great to see you again, and we're very excited for our conference coming up in October.
Yeah,